to me like they're trying to explain spirituality through science, and that's more mine. At least right now, I'm not interested in that aspect. I'm interested in just experiencing.
I mean, you know, science has also modern science, the quantum field and molecular has astronomy. They're coming to realize that we're the further we go into it, the more we realize that it's endless. So there isn't this focus on matter. Finding matter is sort of going. It's not coming to point. It's not. There is enough scientific evidence and models that are saying, wait a minute, we need to revise the whole.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I can be over analytical sometimes, so it's probably better not to be too interested in all the scientific explanations right now.
Yeah, it's, you look at your assumptions. When you start with an assumption, you're no longer in a contemplation, you're no longer in a real exploration. So when you're assuming that I am this body-mind, then right then and there is your contemplation. Your contemplation is where your assumption is. Wherever your assumption is where you need to contemplate. If your assumption is, I am a man, that's where you need to contemplate. If your assumption is, I was born, in such and such year, then you have to contemplate your assumption. And the way to contemplate, you have really no choice but to contemplate your experience right now. Because there is no way you can contemplate your experience of 20 years ago. Because you're not there. You're never 20 years ago. See? So you can contemplate only from presence. As soon as you're contemplating, you are in presence. So contemplation is presence. Now it's tricky because when you contemplate, then thought comes in and tries to appropriate the contemplation and invites you into thinking. So it's important to discern between when you are thinking about something and when you are contemplating about it. You're contemplating. So in contemplation, there is no object. In thinking, there is an object. In thinking, there is an object and a subject. In contemplation, you could say that there is no object, no subject, or you could say there is just the ultimate subject. Objectless subject.
Yeah, because it's really just, when you're contemplating, that's just it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. In a way, just use those terms. The job is done when you're contemplating.
Right.
There's really no job to get done. It's just using that term. You're home when you're contemplating, because consciousness is contemplation. It contemplates itself. It's constantly contemplating itself. It's like sees the birds flying and it's like marveling. It's marveling. Wow!
It's not making a me seeing a bird.
Yeah,
it's just seeing.
Yeah. It's marveling in the dream. It's like going, wow! Look at what I can do. Look at this. I mean, really, look at this. It's just being here now. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? It is freaking amazing to be here now. Just to be. It's amazing. Just to be. It's magic. Just being is magic. I mean, look at this. Look at. It's fantastic, and it's just constantly shifting and changing, and then there is dinner, and then there is who knows what? It's always a magical unfolding. It's utter beauty.
I just appreciate this process that I keep getting from this, which is just feeling the energetic level and not having things the product of thought, but just feeling energy flowing and where it's going, and noticing if something is kind of stuck or tense or whatever, and just really being.
Yeah, beautiful, 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 beautiful. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Because when you're feeling it, you're not thinking about it. You're contemplating.
Right. There's nothing to fix. It's all marvel. It's all marvel. You even marvel at a contraction, because it's such a conditioned system. It's bound to contract. We've been in the contracting mode for so many decades. It's bound to contract. But at some point, you're marveling at it. You think, wow, look at that.
I get when the energy comes across and it's focusing on, this is something that's sort of tight, and I'm really looking and I'm feeling it. Then I say, I sort of notice, there's this kind of attitude there, but what it is, I don't really need to categorize. I don't need to hang out with it. It's just kind of interesting, and then it's gone.
Yeah. There is this practice of loving what is, loving. So loving is a sort of innocence and openness to what is unfolding. And there's a certain quality of not knowing about loving. It's not like, here are my conditions, here are my terms, here are the 5 pages of print you have to sign at the bottom. No, it's not like that. Loving what is has an openness, an innocence, a freshness to it, a not knowing quality to it, and a willingness to be vulnerable. It's and a sort of a trust. There is a trusting in the divine, trusting God. I mean, what better trust? Where would you best put your trust, in the stock market or in God? I mean, there's no better place to trust, no better hands to trust than the hands of God. Meaning consciousness, divine consciousness that orchestrates this, orchestrates everything. And there is an order that the mind can't even conceive of. Like I forgot who said, you can't even grow your own nails. The mind, is a great, wonderful tool, servant of consciousness that we can enjoy and utilize for planning a trip and putting together a party, cooking dinner, whatever, and organizing a satsang. That's beauty of but there isn't a separate me at stake in this quality of the mind quality, which is sort of inherited by consciousness. Consciousness says, here is logic, here is your ability to sort of compute, your ability to visualize, your ability to connect concepts together. All these mind qualities are not a problem, as long as there isn't a me in danger, a sense of self. The sense of self is, you're like a dreaming that you are being chased by a lion. It's a dream. It's an illusion. That's the core impression. That it seems real when we've forgotten that we are the consciousness that's perceiving that. Everything that you experience Everything you experience through consciousness. In other words, you are aware. You are aware of the experience. You're aware of this experience. At some level, there is awareness here. You're aware of this experience. And this awareness, this whatever it is that is aware of the experience, is you. You and the awareness of this experience are one. And what is it that is aware? It's awareness, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's awareness, it's aware. You are aware, meaning you are awareness, aware of your awareness. You are awareness. Aware of a bodily sensation, aware of a perception, aware of thought, memory, a dream. But also, and that's crucial, you're aware of being aware. Meaning awareness is aware of awareness. This is an internal light. It's like the sunlight knowing itself, knowing its luminosity. When you know your luminosity, what's lacking to you? What is lacking? The sense of lack comes from forgetting, the forgetfulness. But this forgetfulness is temporary. It's not a chronic amnesia. It's just a sporadic amnesia that fades away. It fades away. It fades away as you're realizing over and over that you are awareness 24/7. Aware, right? I'm sorry? How many way? How many times? 24/7? 20, how about 23 and 3/4? Right? Yeah, you can take a quarter hour off. Jeff. It's effortless, really. You know, because it's already so. Awareness is already aware of itself. It's already aware it's aware. It doesn't. So, like, it's as if like the mind is sort of like you help in a way. You're sort of shortening the journey in a way by loving the truth. Loving the truth means that your heart is set on living the truth, on being the truth, on realizing the truth, on ceasing the hoax. That's it. You don't need to remember anything really. You just love the truth. Your love for truth is consciousness love for truth. You know, like sometimes you do an act of courage, like for 20 people, there are 20 people around and nobody's willing to do it. And then you do it for everybody, say, I'll do it, for all of us, I'll do it. This loving the truth is you as consciousness loving the truth for the billion people. It's that act of courage. It's an act of love. It's really an act of love. And you have no choice about it, really, because once you get the bug, you're cooked. What Francis, I think, once used the analogy of when we send a probe out in space. So it sends away from Earth. It's still in the within the gravitation.
Orbit,
in the gravitational force. It's still in the gravitational force of the Earth, and then it's moving, let's say, towards planet B. And at some point, the gravitational force of planet B is just slightly stronger than the gravitational force of the Earth, and then it's a free fall towards planet B. So it's like that. Once you're in the free fall, there is a consciousness, which is just a metaphor, of course.
So I guess even the suffering that wakes us up to this is a form of love, then.
Absolutely.
Because that's without that,
Absolutely.
I don't think we.
Yeah.
do that.
You know, from ignorance, we perceive that lots of awful things are happening to us. Why are they happening to me? Oh my God, I've been a good boy, I've been a good girl in my life, and why is this happening to me? And I go to church every Sunday, etc. You know, why is this happening to me? From this ignorance, we perceive suffering happening to me. But from wisdom, we don't. We perceive everything as grace. We say, oh, what is the message that, what is the direction that grace is giving me? It's telling me, oh, this is really painful, so that's not the path to follow. So it closes a door. Really, I mean, what is suffering? Suffering, I mean, talking about psychological suffering, is your desiderata, your wishes, your conditions not being met. Your expectations, your ideas about how things should be. Things are not happening according to your plan. That's what suffering is, right? Your conditions are not being met. So yeah, what it means is that the world is basically telling you, the universe is telling you, oh, that's not the path. So it says, oh, okay, you always say, yes, okay. Yes, okay, why? Because consciousness is the Lord. Consciousness says, no, you know, you getting this promotion, or you getting this wonderful job, or you living in this beautiful state, that's not what I have in mind for you. And so, what a problem, what's the problem? But from the separate self is, I want things. I want this to be that way. That's a big problem. And I'm going to go to church, I'm going to burn 10 more candles. You know, you light the candles, you put a quarter or dollar, whatever, in every candle, whatever, or you burn incense, or you know, it's going to chant your mantra 10 times tonight, whatever it is, you know, because you as the personal self who has a personal agenda.
Yeah.
The universe doesn't listen to personal agendas, because a personal agenda comes from the personal self, meaning I am the reality. I, me, not I as consciousness, me as this person, you know, me as this personal mind, I am the reality. God says, okay, we have a problem. This is another reality out there. Let's see how well they do. Let's see how well they do. Let me see. Let me blow a little bit on their ocean. Blows like this on their ocean. They're on the boat and they, whoo! Oops, I blew too strong. They sunk and died.